You may have known PDA as public display of authority, as Richard says it, or PDA to mean personal digital assistant. As a microbiologist, I have known PDA to be potato dextrose agar. But here, we are talking about a different PDA. This is douche. There's something here. Steph didn't do a good job. Okay, sorry about that. Back to our living room, we are talking about public display of affection. And this lady here, most of you have known her. But if you are tuning into Hope Channel right now, this is my lovely wife, Nyasembu, Lush, all those names. PDA, karibu sana to the show and to our living room.
Thank you so much to the viewer out there. We welcome you so much, and we hope that you are going to be blessed, and God is going to use us in a mighty way so that you can be able to be blessed. Now, PDA, public display of affection. Hey, that thing is
You can't explain it.
Yeah. So
it's big.
It's so big.
So to help us explain this magnanimity of PDA, we have a couple just next to you. Introduce them to us.
On our side here, we have a lovely sister, a husband and a wife. Male husband and female wife. Let them just introduce themselves.
I'll let you introduce me.
Yeah.
Welcome, viewer. My name is Richard Uma, and this is my lovely wife, Tabitha. You're welcome to be with us today.
Thank you.
Tabby and Richard are our resident guests. They are always here with us to help us unpack our topic, and today is PDA. Visiting us today, and we hope you'll visit us again in this lovely home at the Ngugis. How do you want to introduce yourselves?
Hello, viewer. My name is John Gugi, and Evelyn, she's my lovely wife. I hope that you are going to be with us as we go through this program. Thank you.
Welcome. Evelyn, you want to say something?
No, it's okay.
You have a voice, but that's okay. We'll come back to you.
Yes.
In the African setting, never forget that. We are talking about PDA in the African setting.
Yes.
And so the question is, what is PDA? Who would want to go first?
Well, public display of affection is what we are talking about today. In the African context, this can be a very difficult thing to do, to show your affection in the public, openly, because the way we live is such that we live with people whom we respect. We never want to show them anything in our affection between our wives and
Public.
in the public, that is. But it's a very important thing. It's one of those things which really show who you are to your partner. And this is what we want to discuss today. We want to talk about it. We want to talk about it. Leaving aside the African context, let's talk about this one first before we get into that place.
And I believe for you to display publicly, it must come from inside you, for you to express anything to your partner.
Well,
I think you must be friends. That is key, yes. Because I cannot hold his hands if he's not my friend. You know, we could be married, but we're not friends. So that is for another day.
Are you guys friends?
We're the best of friends.
Wow.
Okay.
That's one.
And about PDA, I would like to say that PDA cannot be faked.
Yes.
And faking something is very expensive. PDA is an automatic response to love. And therefore, you must have been friends. You must have a close relationship. Unless your intention is to show the outside of what is not exactly not existing.
But it won't last if you do that.
Yes.
It's always plastic and it disappears.
Yes.
So there are these people who say you only want to show them something that is not, you're hiding something in that show.
Yes.
At times it happens. Yeah, it happens publicly. Someone may try to like pretend so that the whole world may know that there's love.
They're in love.
But back at home, behind the camera.
It's a different story.
Yeah, it's a different story.
Kwa ground vitu ni different.
Yes.
I want to bring in John because he's looking at, you know, I saw you look at your wife as she was speaking. Why did you look at her like that?
Normally, actually, PDA is very good for the marriage setup, actually. Because, you know, the person you're engaging in PDA is just your best of friends. As my wife rightly put it, that you're best of friends with her since the time we were in campus. And sometimes even when we engage in PDA, even we don't realize it because it is natural. I mean, sometimes I can be able to touch her, like when you're walking, you can, during a conversation, you're holding her hand and she's doing the same. So that is something natural of response. And I think it usually shows that your partner is caring about you, the whole thing about affection, that one separates from all the other people,
We'll come back to understand the touch, break it down so that we can understand it. You know, okay, Richard, you wanted to mention something.
What I wanted to say, actually, Brother John has talked about it. And equally, Sister Evelyn has talked about it. This is something that is spontaneous. It comes from within. Once you love someone, I love this lady, it becomes natural.
Yes.
I mean, there are things I could do that you may not understand, right from my face. But she will understand what I'm doing. There's an affection here. My look only at her suggests there is something. This is something that is inbuilt, as she said. It's natural. It's not easy to fake it, you know. But I know that we live in such a world that we sometimes have to fake it. You know, situations may come in and people fake it and they think, well, this is what it is. We are not going to fake this one. PDA must be a natural thing because it's what you feel for your partner, for your wife or for your husband.
I just wanted to add, you know, like as we speak right now, we have the older generation, right, who think that, for instance, if I touch Richard in public, what is really my goal?
You're misbehaving.
You're misbehaving, that is wrong. I remember a situation, we had visited the home church in the village, and I sat next to my husband, and one of the ladies, like an older woman, called me and she was like, you know what, we need to have a conversation. I was like, okay, what's going on? She told me, you should stop sitting next to your husband. I was shocked. I was like, okay, why? She didn't even give me the reason, but definitely that tells you that they're not even comfortable for you to sit next to your spouse.
There must have been something they were reading.
Right.
In our, you know,
what
we looked at me and probably there was something everybody was looking at here and reading. She must be communicating something. That is in church, in public that is. We need to fake or to feign what we call respect.
Right.
You know,
the older people.
Show that you are respectful. If you're going to show your affection to your wife or husband in public, there are people who read differently.
Right.
They think you are disrespectful.
Right,
But then people are different. People take things differently. The way someone views me holding your hands, maybe there's someone who will feel so much offended, and there's someone who will appreciate. So we are dealing in a society where we have different kinds of people, and we need to know how to
behave.
Yes. I think we also need to appreciate the fact that whatever we do, we should do it in moderation.
Right.
Of course, there are extent, but I know there are various forms of expressing PDA, and we have to agree that it comes subconsciously. It automatically comes from within. But again, we also have to maintain the fact that we are Africans, and we need to not go to the extremes.
When you say extremes, I really don't understand, because probably somebody maybe just touching would be, oh, that's
like the lady that responded and saw you. How? Okay, demonstrate to us what you do.
We were actually just seated.
We can also cancel you.
No, we were just seated like in church. Yes, there wasn't really much. We just seated, and she called me. And I had to tell him.
These things are so natural.
Right.
Probably the preacher is on. And I've just, you know, kind of turned my head. I'm seeing Tabitha. And I'm looking at her and beginning to smile. And wow, you know, somebody may read something more than that. I mean, I'm so happy. She's near me. I like it. And somebody sees how I come alive in it.
Or maybe the lady saw Tabby looking at you, you looking at Tabby, and probably like I'm looking at this freshly.
Lugubriously.
Yes, this apple. You're like my fresh apple. What is next? Now, John.
Yes.
When PDA, there's this. We've talked about it's natural.
Yeah.
It's spontaneous. But there are times, as she has mentioned, there are times that. Maybe there are some touches.
Right.
I've come back to the touches.
Right.
And she has talked about moderation.
Yeah.
Let us marry these two.
Right.
What type of touch is untouchable? Or what type of touch is, going to the extreme? Because, while we are Africans, and there are things that we're learning, people come from different setups. There are things that when I do to her, she's like, Stop. But there is this that she does, like it's encouraging you, the way someone can say, stop touching me.
Yeah, I think normally what could be like, I say acceptable in quotes, like maybe holding hands, not that tightly, maybe a pat in the back, maybe a slight hug. Those are kind of things that maybe even the society you feel comfortable in. But some things when you go deeper, then it becomes a bigger challenge. And normally you may realize maybe at a context where maybe they are not married couples. Yeah. Maybe you're just friends. Like I remember when we were just dating with Eve, but then at some point I would feel like I would like to hold her hands. Yeah. But I'm a church elder, so how do I? And then she's not my wife yet. Yeah. We're just dating, and then how will the other students take it? So it was a little bit difficult to handling that because of the perception of how people are going to take it. Yep. Not that you really don't feel different by that point, but it's how you relate into it. So I think is the aspect what Evelyn was saying about moderation in respect to where you are and at what stage of life are you in. Maybe are you just dating, married, and maybe older in marriage.
Yeah. Okay. I think the best time for you to show, maybe if from my point of, let me say, view or what, but to the married are the ones who are supposed maybe to be doing such kind of things. But nowadays, by the way, you find very young children and maybe they're walking
and
holding hands and sometimes doing extremes.
I think
just publicly.
Yeah.
Is it right?
If you go to the Western world, for instance, you find that because of their culture, cultures are different. Yeah. For instance, if you go, I have never been to Tanzania, but at least social media has made me go to Tanzania, right? So you find, not Tanzania, Uganda, how a woman will for instance, greet the husband is different from how I would greet Richard, right? So like in the Western culture, kissing and hugging is natural. So that a young girl...
In our African setup, even during the time that these two said I do, I was there.
Yes.
They were told now you can do what you want.
Yes.
They simply hug.
Yeah, exactly.
People are still hesitant.
Yes.
When you have been given the go-ahead, now you can kiss.
And that
because of the culture.
And that is why the point remains, what is the context?
Right.
For example, the pastor is there preaching. Right. And you want to, as much as we are married, we are very close, we are friends, yes. Right. But you want to do like a kissing. No. Is it? It's not acceptable. So I think even as we do these things, we also look at, we do them in moderation. Well, let us look at the context. And even if we are married, I think we don't need to go to the extremes. We also need to study our environment. Of course, as much as we say that PDA is a natural act, the conscious mind will also guide you on what to do at a particular time.
Yeah.
I just want to pose a question to us. Where is the limit? And what is the limit made of? We are held captive with our cultures, and I don't know what therefore looks or comes out as fouling, to the extent that when you do it, you have gone beyond the boundary. If we are seated in church, this is my wife, I am her husband, and we are seated here, and something is going on And you know, that natural thing just hits you, mara moja. And then I turn my face towards the preacher. What then is it? Because she is my wife, we're already married.
Yeah.
There could be limits and what we need to do when we are still friends. Because we have not declared how we relate.
Right.
But when we're already married, this is my wife. If we are allowed, and it looks okay that I hold the hand of my wife as we walk into the church, I mean, that is enough message to show that here, these two are couples. And therefore, that should not have a problem. In any case, does mom have a problem at home?
She released you.
She does
I
not.
walk, I get to hold her back even as we walk, like I'm driving a car. The children way. Because nobody questions me.
Yeah.
I mean, where I am now is such that this is my wife and there is no limit between me and her. But yes, I would want to exercise a bit of caution in what we do. There are moments that I also feel like I can ignore her. She can be, oh, she's hitting me, her leg. But I don't want to look and watch because I know this is not appropriate. But where do we draw the line? As couples. Yes, as couples, where do we draw the line?
Even before you answer that, on just that same line, I think we are mostly majoring on touching, but we realize that PDA is more than touching.
Yes.
Yeah, we have different ways that we can, whatever. So I think even as we answer that, we need to also
Mention the different ways.
the different, you know,
examples.
the different.
There's a way that Linda looks at me and I just lose everything.
Get confused.
Ebu, give me that. I just lose it.
It goes.
Yeah, it goes.
It goes.
And there's a way I look at her and I look at that smile. That's, you know, these people smile differently.
Yes.
They've got different kinds of smiles.
Yes,
Yeah,
they have different types of
course.
smiles.
So
Kuna ile-
for passing a message,
Yes.
if you're not, I will not give you that smile.
Oh, yeah?
And there's another smile. If you want something, there's a smile that you can give. I'm at something that I can give.
Yes.
But if umeingia kwa nerves, there's something I'll also pass to you to show you that I'm not.
Now that you've
Yeah.
talked about getting into the nerves, listen to this quote even as we continue. I want us to talk about display of affection in the house.
Right.
I almost say that Richard is now talking about PDA. Public display of affection authoritatively. Anyway, when I say I love you more, I don't mean I love you more than you love me. I mean I love you more than the bad days ahead of us.
Wow.
I love you more than any fight we will ever have.
Wow. That's a vow.
I love you more, I'm talking to you now. I love you
Yeah.
more than the distance between us. Even if there is social distance, I love you more than that social distance.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
We're seeing it, but it's not there.
So in this setup,
Yes.
in the house,
Yes.
PDA,
In the house.
In
Yes.
the house.
Okay. Now in the house is a
Come on.
different place.
Yes.
Anyway.
or the
Number-
house is now not a public place.
It's
The house is not.
Maybe if you have an extra person, but if you have your own family members, I think it's like a while.
three is a crowd.
Yeah.
Three is a crowd.
Three is a
It
crowd.
is.
But anyway, when you expressing affection, but I think in the house it's, let me just say, it's a place where you are with people who you're familiar with and having some connections. So I think it will be a notch higher than the one that I do in public.
You can say that again.
Yeah, when you're in the house, you can do much more.
It's different.
But
Yeah.
the reason, oh yes, John.
Yeah, surely, I agree on that. Because you see, the people that you're living in the house, they could be some are our sisters, some are our cousins,
Yeah.
some are our aunts, the people who are taking care of our kids. And to some extent, they know who we are.
Yeah.
But you know, in church setup, there are people, they may not know we are married,
They may not
they
even be
think
for
that
you,
we are
for
still
you, for the good of
dating, they may not understand us, the fabric that is in us. So that one could be a little bit higher, like the word that Linda has used. But of course, in its own moderation.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't also want to set a bad precedence to the children who are growing there. They are, because they are of different age. Yeah, so that is how you always do it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know why I asked that? We have a 10-year-old daughter, and we have another talkative 7-year-old.
Like you.
An apple doesn't fall away from
That's
far away from the tree.
Oh, yes.
How do these children understand that this is daddy and mommy? There was a time the younger daughter asked the mother, "Dad, mommy, mbona upendi kuhug daddy?"
Oh, yes.
Right.
You see,
That is a lot of
stuff
TV
like
they're
that.
watching.
Yes, and she was not able to explain. That girl just comes from nowhere and asks questions.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
So how then now are we able to put it in a way that it is understandable to them?
Yes. Have you heard of this other story? That a girl, grown up, wants to get married. She has a boyfriend, but she doesn't know what to do. Because in her thinking, dad and mom are more or less like strangers, but they only share a bedroom. That's all. He has never seen anything coming between them.
Yeah.
No affection, no nothing. It's orders and it's obedience. Order and obedience. That is how she was seeing that. But the picture she had in her mind was that out there, people do things differently.
Right.
People do things differently, and she is affected by that. She is that one who is letting the boyfriend wouldn't touch the hand.
Right.
Because these things cannot be done when they are seeing it. Now, what effect does that have? Does it build our children? Does it? Well, maybe it does.
Because they
Maybe
learn
it
it from
does.
the wrong source, though.
Affection is part of how we are going to relate.
Exactly.
Part of how we are relating. Of how close are we as friends? As people who live together. Can the children look at you and see mom and dad hugging or holding hands and seated and appreciating that there is a bond between father and mother?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say, something about the children. The children always watch you. And by the way, whatever they are watching in the house is probably what they are going to come out to be as when they grow as adults. So when they see there's a way of expressing affection, but definitely they will pick. They know if I see daddy or mommy touching, I know they love. They love. So when him or her gets married and that person even doesn't, so atakuwa na question marks. So children always watch us. So I think the best thing, if we are expressing the affection in public, do it in a way so that they will also grow and knowing that this is part of love. This is how people should be relating because they'll be watching you always.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's true.
Actually, is a sign of like love or affection. I remember when I was staying with my uncle, and at some point my uncle came back and he didn't hug my aunt, and then the son was like, "Are you sad today?" Yeah? Were you not happy? You have not hugged mom today.
Exactly.
You see now the children have picked it like those PDA small. They is a sign of love and affection. And you can see even when going to church, the son was always like, "Can you hold mom hand?" And we are holding together.
Yes.
So it's bring people together. It's a sign of good things.
It does.
And sometimes, even for example, we're in church, and maybe some of those few PDAs like holding the hand or a tap, there could be some other people who are watching. Maybe they are wishing, I wish I can get married so that at least
like
I can have somebody who can be able to appreciate me, something like that.
It's a natural thing.
Yeah.
We watch TV and we see animals, the ones we keep at home, and we can see them, how they behave around each other. They come lick around, and they are grooming and all that because they're living together as that. But we are hesitant to show this because we have that culture.
Yes.
Our parents, allow me just to say this. If dad had walked home, all of us would disappear. What are you doing there?
Exactly.
You are always in trouble. It's either your short is torn, or your sandals are lost, or you are dirty. Something is just wrong, and you have to disappear. So you don't know what's happening behind there. This has affected people. Some people can't relate with their partners, because they don't know how to. They don't know how to. I think it does more harm for us if we hide these things from our children.
Yes.
We can go to the extent of the limit she was
Richard,
talking
hold
about.
that thought.
Yes.
We are taking a short break. I want to take a couple of mouthfuls of water, but PDA is social. We can't run away from it.
We can't run away from it.
We are going to talk about more what it does to this young lady here and these other ladies sitting here. Coming back shortly.
Hapo mwanzo kulikuwa na neno, na neno lilikuwa kwa Mungu, na neno lilikuwa Mungu. Maneno ya thamani kuhusu mkombozi hupatikana katika neno. Ni jambo la kutamausha kwamba kuna tafsiri mbalimbali na hata mafundisho potovu kuhusu neno la Mungu. Swali ni je, kweli ni ipi? Ni kwa nini tuna tafsiri mbalimbali za neno lake Mwenyezi Mungu? Tutajifunza kweli kivipi? Kipindi cha Jibu kwa Mashaka kipo kwa ajili yako. Kwa neema yake Mwenyezi Mungu, hiki kitakuwa kipindi cha kukuwezesha kuyajibu maswali ambayo yalikuwa yanakutatanisha kuhusu maandiko. Na Yesu anatamani tuweze kujifunza kwa dhati kumhusu na tuokolewe. Jumuika nasi kila Jumamosi saa 1 hadi saa 1:30 kwenye Hope Channel Kenya upate kujifunza zaidi.
Family Times is back and we are talking about touchy issues. PDA is the topic and so far so good.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
I'm tempted to touch her and she doesn't like it. She's like, we're in public, stop it. No, before we went for a break, Richard, you were mentioning something, then I want to come back to the Ngugis and maybe they tell us something. What are your experiences, especially in the house and then now in the public?
Yes, in that space where we live, this is the only place that we can do as much as we want. And for me, this is the place or the time when we build our children.
Yeah.
You know, to come to that place where they appreciate each other. In terms of their feelings from within, love is very deep. You know, it comes from inside, as we mentioned earlier.
Yes.
And for us to show that, it comes in the form of affections. We need to know what we shouldn't do and what we can do for that space which we have. So that our children and everybody who is around us can pick it from there.
Yeah.
There is a bond that is built through that. And we can't deny our people that. But for us to do that, we have to have some freedom of thought away from our cultures so that they can see and embrace that. There was a point the brother Ngugi brought. He mentioned about this child who was asking, Dad, what happened today?
Why not hold him?
Why didn't you hold mom or didn't you hug mom? Children learn from us.
Yeah.
And they need to learn to appreciate each other. We can't live as husband and wife and we are like dogs, biting and barking at each other. We must have that bond. That bond is shown by affection without going to extremes. But that is where we build it from, you know. And so, for me, I appreciate it. You know, Dave, I wasn't one person you'd pat on the back. No way. Don't touch me. Nobody would touch me. But I've learned to do that now. I've learned that even when I do some nice tea and I'm appreciated for that, I just stretch my neck. Plant something.
I've been troubled.
So that I'm appreciated. Just plant it there.
I'm imagining a situation where you say, don't touch me, and Tabby insists, I will touch you. Don't touch me, I will touch you.
So you don't burst out in anger, you end up laughing. Because of that. Thank you.
Share with us your experiences. Of course, they say charity begins at home, right?
Yeah, true.
So right from the house out there. You've mentioned even when you guys were dating, there was that from campus. So these are friends.
Yes.
Yes. So maybe we could start from there.
Yeah, actually some of these forms of PDA, they're things that shows affection and love and appreciation from your own partner. But now with a form of moderation. As I said earlier, during our time of dating in campus, I could wish I could hold her hand, but it didn't look ethically right in front of my peers and the church members. But I found it comfortable after our wedding. And even now, during marriage life, even in the house, actually, those forms of PDA really helps so much, even with the people who are around us in the house. They realize, I mean, the marriage is good. I mean, when we are happy together, when Evelyn calling me honey in the house, when we are just sharing some things together.
But then I'm able to tell when he's not in a good mood. When my husband is extremely angry, he'll call me Evelyn. Full names.
That's a strong
when he's slightly angry, not so angry, he'll call me Eve. But when he's a good mood, he will always call me honey. I'm able to tell when things are not right. I'm able to tell her to preach. I'm able to tell that today, if she calls Evelyn, if she comes in the house, Evelyn, today I'm able to tell that something is not right somewhere. So personally, it has helped me in my house. And I find it calling him honey all the time, it's just automatic. And another thing is when we go to church, I find it, church or any social gathering or any social place, I find it strange when we are not sitting close to one another. We have that form of close friendship. And by the way, even since the time we were dating, before we knew that we could date, I think my husband is the last person I expected to marry because he knew everything. There was nothing I couldn't tell him from everything. All my stories he knew. So when finally came and proposed to me, I think we have had the best friendship. Even for the last 4 years that we have been in the marriage setup. It has been a wonderful experience. Yes.
You brought in the right couple.
Yes, I just want to poke him for a bit. This sounds very interesting, John.
Yes.
I know as men, Dave is here, he can confirm this, that many times we want to show our authority around the one we are dating or the one we want to. I mean, everybody must know that this is mine. Stay away. You know. What can you say about that? Dogs probably bite, bulls will fight, but for us, it's the affection that we show around each other. Everybody will be looking and saying, there is something about these two people. You know. And having been in campus, I believe competition is very high. How did you win this race? How did you go about it?
Yeah, of course, that one was a little bit a challenge.
Yes.
But some way, I personally managed to mark my territory.
Yes, mark your territory.
Is making sure that I'm always close to her.
Right.
Yes. And there is a way you look at a person and she realizes that things are okay. Things are still moving well. And even now, even after our marriage and even when we're in church, actually we have never sat separate. Irrespective of where we have been placed. We will always find a way of being together and staying together. And it's something that I've always appreciated so much because it is always making sure that we're always close to one another, we understand one another, we appreciate one another. Yeah, which has really built up our marriage up to this time. Yeah.
And someone like me who has a husband who is a PM walking all over the church. Hey.
Richard says the church can also be the Garden of Eden. If you don't sit close to your wife, the snake might come and lie to your wife.
The first form of defense is the affection issue.
So moving forward, you find a way of sitting next to him.
Walk with him. Walk with me. Follow him.
That's so hard.
All right.
But anyway, the connections will always bring you together.
Yes.
And once it comes out naturally, know that you're good to go. And again,
I think the key thing is friendship. Establish the friendship.
That bond is important.
That is very important because when you talk of praying as talking to God as a friend. The same way our partners. I believe if today you are praying and you have an issue burning in your heart, there is nothing that you can, you'll tell God everything.
Yes.
And that is, I feel that is the same way we should treat our spouses. Because this is your friend. There's nothing that you can hide. You should hide from them.
Right.
Yes. So once you establish the friendship, once that bond is established, I think all other things shall fall into place. Because you don't fear telling your friend anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, true.
Very true. I think that bond normally makes things much easy.
And natural.
Natural for us. For instance, she could be doing something even in church. And from wherever I am, probably I'm not even seeing and watching what she's doing, but I can from the stammering and the hesitation in the words, I can read that there is something which she's not doing very well. I just walk in and stand at a place where I know she looks at me and says, oh, now things just immediately change. You come in and you begin to smile from that corner, and she realizes, oh, here he is, then I'm okay. I'm okay. And things go on like that. Communication through that makes things much easier, you know. They say,
because you've understood each other.
Yes.
You know the chemistry, you know. I think it just comes out. I don't know the word that I can use to express. Maybe let me just say, for lack of words, a connection. It's like network.
It's something that you can't
explain. And that's how God created us. So when we are talking about displaying affection, and we have children, but then from our families, we will be the ones who will either destroy or make our children. So from the way they see you relate, because a child, when he or she grows up, atasema, I want a husband, maybe if she's a girl, I want a husband who will treat me like I see my daddy treating my mommy. That's what I'm relating now. But if she sees violence, no touch, no anything, so but then that child will grow up knowing that I think if you touch me, maybe we'll just cross paths, because I don't know, I didn't experience that, I didn't see that, so I can't give what I didn't even have.
I think just to cut you short again, when we're doing PDA, we shouldn't just also do it for children, because we also have families who don't have kids. So if you wait probably to have kids, you do not know when God will give you, right?
Exactly.
So you should do it for each other, right? So that whether they're kids or not, because that is something that will make you also bond, and you know.
Tell me the children find you you know, you're not waiting for children.
No.
But that bond is what will put you to that place where when God blesses you with children, they pick it from there. You know, because we lack a lot of this in our families, because of our cultures. Our people don't even know how to solve problems in the family, because they don't know how to break this barrier. You need to be affectionate. As she says, when John comes and calls her the name Evelyn,
she's in trouble.
She already knows very well that now this is my approach. This is my approach, because moods are not good here, but I know how to break this one.
I just want to come back to John, and we are sharing our experiences, and there are displays of affection that maybe our spouses don't like. How do we come back to you know, you come back to yourself? You have shown something, but
Evelyn doesn't like it.
You know, I think it's a learning process. There are some things, of course, you will do, and then you'll see your partner is very happy about it, is very cooperative on it. Then at that point, you'll be able to learn, I mean, this is the right thing to do in this kind of a situation. Then on those things she doesn't like, maybe you can always have a way around it. What could be the reasons? Maybe is it environment? Maybe if at all it is around church, then she's not comfortable. But when maybe in the house, very much comfortable. So is the whole issue about the environment and what is right at a particular time.
And maybe just to add, it is a matter of understanding, because I believe we have to acknowledge first, PDA is a natural process. Second, even before we got married, we understand that we come from different cultural
And
backgrounds,
backgrounds.
different teachings.
Raised
And
up
you're
with
trying to
different
bring
things.
these people together. And now, of course, we have different perceptions and understandings of doing things. But how comes you've managed to overcome this and you've managed to maintain the friendship? I believe there is nothing which cannot be solved.
True.
And if I appreciate, if there's a form of PDF that my husband is showing me and I'm not comfortable, I love to appreciate first that he's doing it from his heart
And out of love.
and out of love.
Yes.
Then why can't I, myself, why can't I be able to put myself in his shoes and be able to appreciate that? I think there is always a way of coming out of something.
You're learning and
There's
understanding.
always a way
Yeah.
of coming out of something, and
Yes.
that is what we want to spend the next few minutes talking about.
Dave, allow me. Just allow me.
Okay.
Let me come in with this question. We talk about PDA quite a lot, and we have just mentioned some snippets of what it is. What is this that will make us uncomfortable to do? So what are these things that we are talking about? What are these affectionate things that we show, and sometimes we have to hide them, and sometimes we have to do them given the environment and all that thing. What are they? So that our viewer understand what we are talking about. You know, is it touching as we have demonstrated here? Where does it end?
Kissing.
Is it kissing?
I think now that is individual.
Yes.
Personally, I will not feel comfortable if he's kissing me in public. Pecking is okay.
Right.
There's pecking and there's kissing. There's that deep kissing.
Okay.
Because we also get to understand, you need to understand your surrounding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If we do that
of course,
around here, we'll take you
there's-
to Madari.
of course, there's some intimate things you cannot
Yeah.
do in public.
Yes.
That's what he's asking now.
This
like
is-
for
yeah.
which example?
Let me give an example.
Yeah.
Yes.
When we are working with her, you know, there are these ladybugs.
Yeah.
It's definitely feminine.
Right.
But I insist on carrying it.
Correct.
Yes, let me carry for you this. And I feel nice. And I just look at her
Yes.
walk majestically, you know. I tell her, go, I'll follow you. And then I see her walk.
I can imagine that there are moments that you want to delay your footing so that she goes ahead with you just for a bit.
The moments are many. Yeah, there are many. So
That's it.
that is one of them.
Yeah, sure.
Because, you know, our viewer out there may simply just think that PDA is
It's
just
just
touching
touching.
or maybe hugging, you know, things like that.
Even
That is my example.
smiling and winking.
Cooking
Yeah.
for her,
Yeah.
making a nice dish,
Right.
preparing it and setting the table,
Opening the
the door. Yes. You know, telling her, sit down, let me
Which
get
door?
your shoes
You are
off.
the door of his heart or the door to the car?
we have doors, heart.
And Tabitha is
You
laughing
can
at
get
me. I'm
to
saying,
a restaurant, you need to
So there's a
put
point
the
that I
chair.
really want Richard to repeat.
you know,
Getting my shoes.
She's walked and she's home and she comes in and she sits down and says, "Honey,
Massage.
let me just get your shoes off.
And
Come on.
massage.
I'm very tired." I said, "Don't worry, Mom. You're not home. I'm around you now."
Richard, there is one thing I always look forward to. Yes. This lady saying she's tired,
Yes.
she needs a massage. Ah, man. Anyway, at least we've given a few examples.
Right.
But now, if you mention something important that I want us to talk about
talk
in the
about.
next few minutes. Husband and wife, they're married in their home, but there is no this PDA. I don't know the opposite of PDA. It's still PDA because it's private display
Authority.
of affection.
Right.
Bado haiko.
Yeah.
How can we spark this? How can we help our viewer so that this can be sparked in the next few minutes? Let me start with John here.
Yeah, it's just, first of all, you understand your partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what she likes or he likes. And then try and show some appreciation.
Right.
Because some of these things are just appreciation. I know, like, human beings and mostly even your partner appreciating you, you feel well. You feel at least there's something that you're doing. It's much more, feel much more better than when you get it, of course, from somebody else. Yeah, that's an effort which is being appreciated. So the only way that maybe we can help our viewers on maybe some members who are maybe not comfortable or they really don't know the importance of that, it's just try and understand your partner, what she likes, what he likes, and try and appreciate that using a method that you feel that maybe he will appreciate on that.
If
I think everybody feel comfortable being loved, and everybody like to be. Human beings are small babies. They like to be pampered. So yes, so you just express love to this person. Then once you express love, try to find out what makes them happy. Yes. And then use that opportunity and exploit the various forms of PDA that you might use actually to impress them. I believe they'll be able to feel appreciated.
Your story. Pick an apple. Richard, why are you salivating? I'm going to give you an apple.
Let me go before Richard.
Okay, Linda's.
Let me go before Richard because I always forget. Huh?
Yes. But don't forget about me.
I can't. Now, I believe people can learn. In this life, but if you can't learn, you will not progress. So, you won't grow. I believe you can learn. There's something that maybe when you're being raised, you didn't see these things. And these things are the ones that help you advance your relationship and your love in the family. So I know you can still learn. So what you need to do, just try. It's a matter of just try. Just try and apply one or two. And before you apply, anyway, you've already known your partner. You know, if I do this, my partner won't like it. If I do this, I think she'll appreciate. So we'll be exploring just the same way Eva said. You look for ways that maybe if I come home with a chocolate, even a sweet.
Exploration.
Yeah, so but then you just explore many ways of how you can appreciate your partner. And once you've advanced in one, definitely ideas will come. And God, if God sees you trying, God will always bring ways of you to be and stick together. Yeah.
So you mentioned, what was the word? What was the keyword? You mentioned
About?
I remember she mentioned we express love.
Right.
Understand. Understand, express, learn. I wouldn't give you an apple. I'll give you something better than that. Tabby, then Richard.
People are different. Just like the way I would like to be appreciated is not the way probably Linda would like to be appreciated. Flowers don't excite me, but you find that somebody when they are given flowers, wow, it's yes. For me, different things matter. Just touch and smile, and helping me. No, it's true. Helping me in the house. Just when he wakes up and he does the dishes and gets the trash out, and just tells me, hey, he takes some up. Not that I want him to do everything, just helping me out. Really makes me.
Feel appreciated.
Feel appreciated, that's the word. So.
Yes, that's hers.
Yeah.
For me, well, these things are many.
Yeah.
And the most important for me would be the first word in the morning. Good morning. And that is where it starts from. Then we go to the next thing. What role do I have to do in this house? I'll do 1, 2, 3. I also want to free her from this burden so that she can give me my time. Because I will need a special time as well. So we have to share this chore. That's where the difference is. But I must say that, we have one child who is now an adult, I would say. He's in his teens.
He's a young man.
He's 21, 22 almost. And therefore he leaves home and he's in college. And therefore I have the space now to explore. Linda, you remember what you said? Explore. And I really try to explore. Because this is the closest I have now. He's the friend that I have. The rest commonly just like conveniences, but she's a friend that I have. And this exploration that Linda talks about is what I am now enjoying because I have the space and time to do that. Put your feet at, this toe here, this toe at the end of your left leg, this toe at the end of your foot. Just touch it quietly as you listen to some music. I like it. I enjoy it,
And this toe can result to the next one, and
and whatever you want to think
the
about.
story. Now we want to give our parting shot in the next maybe 20 seconds. Tell someone, our viewer out there, who feels that what we are talking about is far-fetched,
impossible.
is impossible, it can't happen,
Yeah.
tell them something.
Yes, obvious. PDA is a very good form, mostly even in the marriage setup, because it is increase affection, love, just show appreciation.
Yeah.
I've tried it myself with my lovely wife, and it's something that has always enriched our marriage, and has always made sure that we're always happy together. So please, our viewers, you can always explore various ways of using the PDA, and it can really be positive in your marriage setup.
Thank you. Eve?
Dear viewer, I would like to tell you that nothing is impossible in this world, and everything that you think is undoable is always doable. It's just a matter of changing your perception. PDA is a very good thing, and it does heal marriages, and it heals relationships. So I would like to encourage you to take it positively and explore it. Yes.
Linda, you were supposed to read a verse, but Tabi, you have 3 seconds.
Dear viewer, don't apologize. Do your PDA anytime, especially if you're married. Don't apologize to anybody. If you're married, enjoy your spouse. Amen.
Richard, 5 seconds.
Thank you. Viewer, this is what it is. Affection is what brings people and bonds couples together. If you don't have it, you are thrown away in your marriage. So this is the place. Listen to it, feel it, show it, and that was what makes marriages bond. Thank you.
Let me read the book of 1 Peter, chapter 5, verse 14. It says, "Greet one another with a kiss of charity. Peace be with you all that are in Jesus Christ." Amen? Amen. You can learn.
Amen.
Peace be with you even as we plan for the next session. But remember, PDA is social. You can't run away from it.
Yes.
God bless you even as we plan to meet again. Same time, same place, same what else?
Same here.
See you.